morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Wisdom Wednesday with my beautiful host, co host, Tammy Gator. What's going on?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. That they say can't call it, might spoil it.
Can't call it my spoil it. Can't call it my spoil it. Still a good morning,
Can't call it, might spoil it. So you got your pink and green. Pink
though.
and it's not pink and gray back there today, right? Not
Nah, it's
green.
pink and green with my white cap for the gym this morning.
Okay.
hmm
Well,
hmm
how are you this morning?
I am wonderful. I have my herbal
Got
tea,
your tea?
ginger and lemon, that
I'm
is.
gonna get there. Got my coffee,
I'm a
y'all.
mug. I'm a mug collector. This is one I cop
Oh
from
my.
my favorite bookstore, Barnes and Noble.
I didn't know that about you. So am I.
Yeah,
But I'm funny
is
about
that
mine. Do you
right?
let people drink out of yours?
No, not at all.
I know,
No,
y'all, is that crazy? But I'm like, I'll
no.
side eye somebody if they come in and want my mug. Like, there's so many up there that you could
Yeah.
use. Leave mine alone.
Leave
So,
mine alone. It drinks a little
hey,
different.
leave
It
mine
drinks a
alone.
little different. Exactly.
It
So I picked that
does.
up from Barnes and Noble. So yeah, it's my favorite mug. My favorite mug of the week, I should say. So what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Um, let's see. Let me check the chat here and just see if I don't know if we even put it out like that. I know I didn't. Did you send it out?
Actually, when you scheduled throughout the month, it went straight to YouTube.
Okay, gotcha.
It was already on YouTube. So yeah,
Gotcha. Got you.
this is good stuff.
So, for those who don't know us, maybe this is your first time seeing us and joining in. We are here every Wednesday doing Wisdom Wednesday. Um, Trent and I have been traveling the road, gosh, many, many years, gone through many, many trials and tribulations together. Not together and that kind of thing. Just life happens on us, right?
Yeah,
So we had this thing about, we're growing spiritual. Like that's one thing we have that's like we have a lot of things in common, but we are spiritually in this in a different season. For me, I'll say for me, like I've never been before spiritually. Like it's just I can't even put it in words where
well,
I
I'm gonna say I'm
spiritually.
gonna intervene real quick.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, yeah, we've known each other for a number of years, but we've been spiritually connected from the start. You know,
Hmm.
have I have I always done everything right within this friendship? Absolutely not. But
Oh my goodness.
we've been spiritually connected from the start. From the start. Just my opinion.
Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool beans. So, because of that, and we have those deep, deep, deep spiritual conversations, like gets really, really deep. And if I haven't said it, I'm thankful to have someone that I can talk to about things like that because not everybody receives it, even believes it, right?
Right.
It's kind of one of those things you have to walk. You have had to walk that journey. You're walking that journey, or you're praying for that journey, right? So here we are. This brings us here to Wisdom Wednesday. Um, for me, I shared something with Trent yesterday that one of my aunts shared with me early Monday morning um, through a video. And it really, really touched my spirit. Like I was very, very emotional that entire day in a great way, in a way of thanksgiving for every trial and tribulation, every piece of pain I've ever had. I was just thankful for it after I read this or heard this video and went back and read this verse for me.
Yeah.
So, Trent, you let me know. You go, and I'll dig into it, and we'll talk a little bit about it. And then I know we got both have to
Yeah,
jump off this morning.
I had just gotten out of the cold dip when you called me and we were talking about it. So I'm sitting there eating breakfast at the club and I'm like, wow, 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 wow. That was a very touching video. And as the video was playing, I'm like, man, God is amazing. Right before Tammy called me, about an hour before she called me, I go into the gym, regular routine, go get dressed, and I'm heading to, the hot tub. I do everything backwards now as far as with this recovery. Um, Hot tub first, cold dip, then I go hit the weights. It's backwards because every morning I wake up, I have very violent spasms. So to calm that down, I have to get in the hot tub first, then get in the cold dip to shock the body, shock the system, and then I'm at it. It's like having a liquid Advil every single morning, but it's natural. But feels great after, and I get at it. So my morning starts normally at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going, but as I'm walking, to the hot tub, I seen a lady. I have a lot of friends over at the club, and I hadn't seen her in a while. Her sister had a stroke, and I introduced her to the recovery book I wrote within the stroke while I was, in recovery, the early stages of recovery. So I shared the book with her, and I gave it to her sister, and I hadn't seen her. So as I get in the hot tub, she said, "Hey, Trent, good to see you." She says, "I got to tell you, you were floating walking over here." She said, "You look great." And as we're talking, she was like, "God got you covered." I was like, "Wow." And it was kind of weird for me because I was thinking about some things. Every time I have to deal with a procedure or something like that, I'm having a colonoscopy next week. So every time I have to do something like that, I get kind of, questioning, oh my God, am I going to make it? Am I going to, you know, stroke out on this table or whatever? And that's just God. I took it as God's confirmation. Like, dude, I say I got you covered? Knock it off. So
Mhm.
right after that, 10 minutes after that, another one of my buddies, he gets in the hot tub. He said, "Trent, you look amazing. You looking great." Just out of the blue. Out of the blue. And he's like, "You're truly blessed." Again, another confirmation. Then Tammy calls me with this video and in this story. That's the third confirmation. You say third time's a charm, right? But I was like, wow.
Hmm.
So before she said that, she was like, "Well, let me tell you now, so I don't want you crying on air."
I did say that.
So I got to crying out
I'm
already, so I'm
trying
not gonna cry
to.
this morning. I'm just excited to her to share this with you guys this morning. But it was a great video. Great
Um,
video.
I am seeing here, you guys, and you see me moving. I'm actually seeing now that we could have shared it. So I am trying to do that.
Yes,
And that'll
absolutely.
speak for itself. Yeah, a lot more I see has opened up on this. I guess we should have told them that we're very new to Riverside. So
Yeah,
think it will get greater later as we maneuver through this.
exactly.
But
It's a
okay,
new
I
platform
could have
for us
shared it, but
folks,
I guess
so
it's probably, I'm just going to read it because,
that's good. It's a new
yeah.
platform for us folks, so we're getting new to
So
new
I'll just read
platform.
it.
So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So this is from Malachi 3:3. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver. Then the Lord will have men who will bring offerings in righteousness. That's a different version, but you guys go back and read this. He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver. But it's a different part. This video, this does not give it justice. It talks about God sitting with us and holding us over. This is the way that when it came to me, holding us over that fire, and that it has to sit in order to do this process. It has to sit in the center of the fire.
Right.
And that the refiner has to sit there as well. It cannot leave. And it goes to say, because, and the question is asked, why? Because if I leave a minute too soon, they will be bruised, right? They will be
Right.
broken, bruised, so to speak. Um, and then the question is asked, well, how do you know of the refiner? How do you know when the job is done? And it goes on to say, when I see my reflection in them.
And that's what got me. And that's what got me.
And that's what
That's
got
what
both
got
of us. When I see, it's like you go through all these things um, in life. And I've never quite heard it put this way, but I've always had the question or pondered, what is God doing with us? Each of us. And think about it. Some of us have to sit in that fire a little bit longer, right? Some of us has to be taken out a little bit sooner, but he doesn't leave us. Um, that reminds me of count it all joy, right? And no weapon formed against me shall prosper.
right.
Also
You know,
told me the other day that I'm not bruised. I'm not broken because God, although He allowed me to grow through it, go through it, He took me
right.
out before it put a mark on me. I put the marks on me. And it said, God doesn't put more on us than we can bear. But I've always been told that we do. We put more on ourselves than we can bear. I'm going to find that video.
Exactly.
We're going to play that video next week. Go ahead, Trent.
Okay, cool. Here's what got me, right? When we talked about Refiner was asked, how will you know when it's done? When you see me in him. That's pretty much what it was saying. When you see me in him, right? As God speaking as the refiner. When you see me in him. So I got to thinking about, this incident. When people look at people with different abilities and, oh my God, what happened to you? Blah blah blah, whatever, whatever. You
Mm,
know, I always respond with, this didn't happen to me. This happened for me. Like this happened for me. So while I was in that fire, I was being shaped. He was injecting himself in me. This is what that lady saw as I'm walking into the hot tub. I immediately understood exactly what she was saying. She didn't see me. She saw what was in me. She saw what was within me. Just like the gentleman 10 minutes later. So when people gravitate to me now, they're not gravitating toward me. They're going toward the light that was injected in me during that incident. So just like that cup, right? When you guys, some of you guys may know, some of you guys may not know. But when they create these cups, these mugs and all this stuff had to be held at a very high temperature. You see how beautiful this is? And that cup
mm,
has to be shaped perfect. You see how beautiful this is? Look at this. Beautifully shaped and just the amount of heat applied to it that brought all this perfectness. Think about that for a second. Think about that. Even though it's hot, very hot, during the process of creating that mug, it came out beautiful. Came out very beautiful. So for me, that whole video, that scripture, and Malachi is from the Old Testament. I still go back to the Old Testament myself. A lot of people talk about the New Testament and all this other stuff, but the Old Testament is where it's at. Those people had
mm.
unshakable faith. My Bible scripture for today is anything within Job, from the conflict to the suffering to everything. Job stood his ground. Let's say a young kid say today, he stood 10 toes down for God, period, and refused to curse God because he knew the blessing was on the horizon. Even though he was stripped of everything, he stood in there. He sat in that fire, sat in that suffering. Go ahead, Tammy. I'm sorry.
No. You're fine. No, I'm all into it. You're fine. Um, I don't know. Let me check and see if we have people out. So if we have any questions, and if you're out there, say hello to us. But no, I really wish I could find that video because I wonder if they can hear it.
Yeah, all you have to do
I
is
don't know.
upload
We'll
and
find
share
it.
it to the screen.
So
Or you could.
there was this group of women doing a study of the book of Malachi in the Old Testament. And they came upon the third verse in chapter 3, and it puzzled them. It said, "He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver." And they wondered what this statement meant about the character and nature of God. So one of the women offered to investigate the process of refining silver and then get back to them at their next Bible study. So that week, the woman called up a silversmith and was like, "Hey, can I come watch you while you work?" And she didn't mention anything about why she wanted to do this other than her curiosity about the process of refining silver. So he agreed, and she went. And as she watched him, he held a piece of silver over the fire and let it heat up. He explained that in refining silver, one needed to hold the piece in the middle of the fire, where the flames were the hottest, as to burn all the impurities away. The woman thought about God holding us in such a hot spot. Then she thought again about the verse. He sits as a refiner and purifier of silver. So she asked the silversmith if it was true, if he had to sit there in front of the fire the entire time that the silver was being refined. He said yes, and he went on to explain that not only did he have to sit there, but he had to keep a very close eye on it, because if it was left a moment too long, then it would be damaged. The woman was silent for a moment, and then she asked, "How do you know when the silver is fully refined?" And he smiled and said, "That's easy. When I see my image in it."
Bingo.
So there was this group of women.
When I see my image in it. So you guys, for me, if all that I've gone through is God, as it says, count it all joy. I believe that's in James, right? Because I'm perfecting you, or I'm growing you. And if that means that, so that, and I was sharing this with someone or having a conversation with someone yesterday who's really struggling relationship wise, marriage wise, and as many people are. I don't want to go on that side of it, but I was just sharing with her how many times, I've gone through things and it feels like with this part of it, like here, being where we are now, where we were talking about, we're in a spiritually different just mindset, space and set. It makes it all worth it. It's just like, okay, God, so especially the part that I said earlier, we're not bruised because he took us out of that situation. Sometimes we go back and stay in those situations, right? But I feel like as I look back, the times that I've missed just surrendering. It's also about surrendering to God, to His will for His perfect will for your life. And so all this was that God wanted to see His image in us, but more importantly, as I told her, God already saw it, right? He's just sitting with us so that we can see it as well, that we one day see it in ourselves. Because how we do anything is how we do everything, right? And we can't pour into someone that which we do not have. So I believe God never leaves us or forsakes us. We leave
But
God, we forsake God.
You know what's so funny about being within that fire? The first instinct when we're setting the fire, when in the middle of that fire, was panic, right? The moment I just settled myself and let go. I
The
know it's a
sitting.
cliche for a
Be
lot of
still.
people. Exactly. I know it's a cliche, let go, let God, but nah, do you really, again, do you really have faith? The moment I just let go,
Mm.
I started enjoying this recovery. I know it sounds weird to a lot of people. Wow, how can you enjoy paralyzation and stuff like that? And
Mm.
some of the limbs are not working right now. The key word to that is right now. I was bedridden. I work out 5 days a week. I do things that I'm not supposed to be doing. One of the reasons why it looks effortlessly, I let go. And God just took control. I just jumped in the passenger seat. It was no longer my car. No longer my car,
I
but
want to be in the
it,
back seat. I want to be in the trunk.
no,
No,
I'm talking about,
really. Trent, you bring up a good point. God, people, I used to hear my elders talking about you better, okay, God will sit you down. He will sit you
absolutely.
down, right? Um, so that this verses brings out a whole lot of stuff. Like God will sit you down. And if and in the sitting is the getting more of him,
Hmm.
right? In the sitting is the getting. How about that? More of him, less of you,
Because
right? Because
remember
we're
this.
so distracted in this world. We're so distracted.
Exactly. Remember, God is not a God of chaos. So he's not going to dwell with his chaos. He can, but he won't. So when you settle yourself, he's like a magnet. He's going
Mm.
to come in. You turn into a magnet when you settle yourself because he's coming in. But if you feel with chaos and doubt and, oh, I don't know what to do, and he's not coming, he's not going to show up. But the moment you settle yourself, bingo, he's there. He's there. And it's, when God comes in, it's like perfect peace.
Mm.
When he settles you, and that aura just changed. You go to glowing, and like the lady said in the hot tub, she said you were floating toward the hot tub. She was seeing the inner me. She wasn't seeing the exterior. She was seeing what was injected in me.
Mm.
That's because I was able to settle myself in the beginning of this recovery. And I didn't do it alone. It wasn't easy. But once I trusted him and just let go the handlebars, I'm like, come on, let's jump. I know you got me.
Mm.
That's a beautiful thing when you sit in it. You sit in it the right way.
Looks like hello, Trenton Tammy. Doesn't show who you are, but hello. It's just shows as public chat. But hello, tell us who you are and what you're
Hey,
getting
good
from
morning, good
this.
morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
I don't know how much you've heard, but this morning we've been discussing Malachi 3 and 3, talking about how God sits with us as a refiner and purifier. And the end
Absolutely.
result is it's done when he sees his image in us. Gosh, Trent, when we start, our ways begin to be his ways, our
Yeah,
thoughts align with his thoughts, right? Um, Imagine that, our
yeah,
reflection. Hmm.
yeah. That's a beautiful thing when
So,
you become one with your maker, man, and it's indescribable.
mm,
All I could do is just tell you about my experience, but again, where the average person will be, woe is me, but I've been blessed this entire time from the moment I hit that floor and went unconscious. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different thing, man, when you sit
mm,
in the fire, period. Just sit there. Just
mm,
hold on. Don't panic. I know it could be chaotic. Everything going chaos around you. Everything's going out of control. But there's perfect peace when he shows up. Trust me. I'm a witness.
mm.
Perfect peace.
And you see all the messages as you know, when I got that message on early Monday morning, and I listened to it right away. I'm telling you, and if you want me to send you this video, or I can tell you where to find it on Facebook and TikTok, I think it is. But and just sit in it, this message and this video for a while. I've listened to it over and over and over. And there was one time I really, really remembered me sitting in my war room, and I cried so hard and for so long that it felt as if my tears had started to back up, like dry.
Tell the
And I
folks
found
about your war
myself
room.
thanking, oh boy, oh man. So I have a war room, and there's this, and I started the war room because of this particular situation that I was in the war room crying about. Um, and I came across this book called Drawing the Circle of Prayer, something like that. And it's, of course, speaks about praying often. And I would tell people all the time, I'm gonna pray. And for the most part, I did, but then I would realize that I've missed someone, and I wanted to be always wanted to be very. If someone says, if I say I'm going to pray for you, I want to pray for you. It was my desire to do so. So what I did was in the book, this came from the book, I went and bought construction paper, and I cut out circles, big, small, different colors. And for those that I was praying for, I would write their name and sometimes what I'm praying for, because, sometimes other people would go in there in the war room. I've actually had my son call one night and said, can I come sleep in the war room? And I said, sure, of course. But as I'm sitting in the middle praying, it's just like I can just scan around and see. And sometimes I would see the names, y'all, and it would be just so overwhelming, as if to pray for them even more. And I still do that to this day. People that I don't talk to at this moment, I still pray for. I still have their names. Some of them I have their pictures. Some people have given it to me and say, hey, pray for me through this process as well. So I want a war room building where people can come and pray. I really do. That is a desire of mine. I'm so serious. You laughing? I'm so serious. I want
because I believe you. I know you're serious.
A war room building where people can individually come and pray, or collectively, so in their own little spaces. But yeah, if you don't have a war room, and it was a closet a good kind of long closet, that I just one day I was over it, and I threw everything out the closet and I started building with the war room. I should go live from there one day.
You know what?
Yes.
That's a good idea. That's a real good idea.
Yes.
Then we think about war rooms and whatnot, and I guess you could say my place where I meditate is a version of my war room. This is where I go to battle when I'm dealing with doubt, when I'm dealing with anything I'm dealing with. I have to sit still and meditate and connect with the divine. So I guess my war room's up right on the other side of that suite over there.
Great point, Trent. I think we should all have one. If we don't, and it doesn't mean that you have to have. And maybe your life should be your war room, like our day to day, because it says pray about everything.
That's right.
Everything. Be a walking bowl of prayer. Because people. I heard some news yesterday of a friend. I got a call from another friend who said, who was actually looking for my mom. So I know this person. They've been in my life since, I don't know. I can't even tell you how long. To tell my mom that he had passed away. Just like that. Just like that. So people are leaving this world every day. So the person that you love the absolute most, right? One of the people could be gone now, and we not know, because I was sitting there, life was going on, and didn't know at that moment. So what are we doing? What are we really doing day to day? We're not really connecting with people. because the first thing I thought about, wow, I didn't call him back.
Right.
We've been saying we're going to get together and go do lunch. We used to do that all the time. Life is happening, but is it really happening? Is it really
Right.
happening, or we're just kind of traveling through this journey of life, missing what life is all about? And then there God comes to sit us in the fire because we don't sit down ourselves. What's interesting about you and I, too, Trent, is that we've both gone through those death experience,
Mm-hmm.
survived it,
Yeah.
and kind of came, well, longed for that place. Like, what am I doing back here? What am I
Yeah.
doing? This is Candy. Hey, Candy.
Hey, Candy, what's going on? Good morning to you.
Candy, has Candy taken that assessment yet?
No, I got to send it out to her. I'm the slacker.
Okay.
Got to send it out to her. I'm going to
You're
email
the
it to her.
slacker.
I'm the slacker. Got to take accountability and responsibility. I haven't sent it out. So I promise to get it out today to you, Candy. I'm going to email. So check the email. It'll be coming from Book Trent. Book Trent.
Okay. Before we get off, let's talk a little bit about that. Just maybe a minute. Trent is an introducer of the life language assessment. So if anybody is looking to just dig deeper in yourself, like just to find out, we talk about the love languages and we get so wrapped up, y'all. But one of the reasons I believe relationships fail is because people individually don't know who they are and they don't stay who they are, right? We get in these relationships trying to make 1 + 1 = 1, and you got a half a person or maybe a third of a person and all of that. But as I mentioned to the young lady last night, 1 + 1 is the only time when in a relationship, 1 + 1 should equal 1. But if you don't know who you are, baby, he can't figure that out for you.
Absolutely not.
He can't figure that out for you. And for me, the
Absolutely
assessment answered questions that I did not know that I had for myself. And I sat in awe of what the awareness that it brought for me. And then I went on the most perfect journey of transformation.
Now, the
That's
assessment for me, as you know, Tammy,
cry
it
baby.
opened me up completely.
It did.
Completely. So I encourage anyone who wants to do that assessment, reach out.
I see you
Reach
slid
out.
right over that crybaby statement.
I did.
I mess with Trent about that, but in a beautiful way. Like
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it just opens your soul. It opens. I've watched many people. I remember a little 14-year-old girl because we have the youth version as well. And I remember she sat and read it on my couch and she cried and she cried and she cried. Because I think people they're longing to understand themselves, right? Who am I? Why? Why do I act this way? Why do I feel this way? So it helps you understand not just who you are, but how you are. How are you wired?
Yeah,
So
when you find out that,
I know you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I do. He'll be in a moment. When you figure out that, wow, I've been doing life wrong this entire time is for this particular reason, it becomes very emotional. Very emotional.
Say that again. Say that again.
When you find out after taking the assessment that you've been doing life completely wrong because of this reason, it's very emotional. Like, wow, that's why this is why I'm like that. Wow, because I didn't unpack this.
Interesting.
You know what I'm saying? It
That's
becomes very
interesting.
emotional.
I don't know.
Think about it.
I'm gonna,
Think about it.
well, I didn't think that I'd been doing it wrong. I didn't know who I was doing it with. I didn't know the
Let me
person
tell you
myself
something.
who I was doing it with. So it brought awareness to the point. It didn't make me think I was doing it wrong. It defined how I should do it, right?
Right.
And how I was doing it, like the understanding of I'll have to share some more about that
Let me
because if I get going,
let me break it down in 5 minutes because my driver's going to be here in about 5
okay,
minutes.
okay.
For me, when I say I was doing life wrong, see, I didn't know that I became Big Will. You know who Big Will is, but I became
Oh, I got
I
what you're
became the
saying. Okay.
man. I became the man that I despised. I became that guy, and every relationship that I walked in and out of, I was Big Will walking in that relationship and leaving that relationship. But when I found out the source and the origin of the issue, of the trauma, that's where I became emotional. It came from that 4-year-old boy
Mm,
who marveled and looked at his father and honest. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm,
he's a great man. He's a wow, charismatic man, a just stern man who takes care of everything. And I despise that man. I despised him.
but you
So
became him.
I became him.
Okay, so I get what you're saying for you, and I'm glad you shared that because maybe it's different for everyone. So it showed you who when you saw that you knew this is Trent,
This is
but
Trent
Trent hasn't been um he didn't honor this Trent. This
at
is
all.
Trent, and so you okay, got it, got it,
Yeah, yeah,
got it.
exactly.
Candy,
So
I
it's a good
sent
thing,
the
man.
email. Trent, that's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely,
Maybe
absolutely.
it's
It's
time
a
to
beautiful thing.
unpack you again live.
We
No,
should do that.
seriously, using the
We should do
assessment.
that.
Using the
We should do
assessment.
that. We should do that. Let's do it next
So
week. Let's do it next week.
it'll take longer than 30 minutes. So,
Yeah, we'll do a couple of sessions.
okay, that's
Yeah,
true. We
let's
could
do it.
break it down. We could break
Yeah,
it down.
let's do it.
Now, I will say, okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, Queens. That's interesting that you say that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my entire aura. I mean, you was there during those, phases of Romello, thinking that I'm fine and I'm good, but you know what I'm saying, speaking all over the country and abroad, uh, you know, I wasn't right, man. I wasn't right.
But I didn't
I
know that
still,
you took it as which, like I said, which is interesting because it could be different for everybody. Like for you, you
yeah.
knew that you were not the man that you were
I was thinking about it. I was still
living.
using those charismatic
Gotcha,
ways that I
gotcha,
picked up from Big Will. I'm
gotcha.
on I'm on the motivational circuit all over the country, all in Jamaica,
Mm,
the Bahamas. I wasn't right. I was not right. I still had I always say Romello, but it was really Big Will. I became Big Will. I
mm.
wasn't right. But when I took that assessment, then talk about after the incident, that's a whole mirror. I didn't not that handheld mirror. You gave me the entire mirror where I could see everything.
Mm.
Like, oh, I don't this is not good for me. I don't want to see this. This is ugly.
You gave
Everybody
me a
thought it
new
was beautiful,
question
but
to
that was
start
ugly.
asking. That's interesting. I love that. That's a new
Yeah,
question to start asking while we're unpacking assessments.
yeah,
Um, hmm,
yeah, yeah. Well,
good
this is a
stuff.
good one here, man. I got to get. Oh, this is getting so good. But my driver called me early and say he's gonna be a little early this morning. But
Okay.
got to get to the gym. But this is a good one, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be able to catch this one on Apple, Spotify, wherever you receive your podcast, wherever you enjoy
Mm.
your podcast. Tammy and I are there, right there. Look for Tammy Gator and Trent Williams, Arthur Trent Williams, or just Taylor Kennedy channel on any one of those platforms. You'll get it. So we'll be releasing this one probably later this week. Well, actually, toward the end of the week, because we're on a hump day here. But
Good
yeah, good
stuff.
stuff, man. Real good stuff. Real good stuff.
Good stuff. Send us your favorite Bible verses or something you'd like for us to chat about. It's going to get greater later. I'm seeing a lot more on here, Trent. So I'm kind of shifting my
Is
groove
that is
here
that
because
new
I
is
was
that
like,
new is
I
that
don't
new
know about
device,
this.
isn't it? Me too. Like,
No, I'm
yeah,
actually on the old ones. I
really,
couldn't remember the password on the new one, so I had to go back to my
yeah.
old one. Yeah.
I'm on the new device over here, so it's looking good, looking real good.
Yeah.
Yeah, glad we
Go
made that
Wings.
change. Yeah, good stuff, good
Go
stuff.
Wings.
Any closing remarks before we get out?
Y'all go be great. Go be great. Because we've just told y'all there ain't nothing wrong with you. There's not a thing. God took you out in perfect timing. There's nothing wrong with you. Go seek ye first the kingdom of God and grow the kingdom of God. Let people see you floating over there like they saw Trent yesterday. Let people see the
Exactly.
God in you. Because that's
If
what he's
any of you
doing it for.
guys, if any of you guys are in that fire this morning that we're talking about, just sit still.
Mm.
That storm will quiet itself. Trust me.
And know
So
who's
that's all we got.
holding you over that fire. Sit still and know who's holding. Trust who's holding you, and that God will take you out not a minute too soon and not a minute too late. But when he takes you out, go do what you're supposed to do.
Stay
Go
committed.
do it.
Exactly. So that's all we got for this morning. You guys be epic, and you'll definitely see us 6 a.m. sharp. I'll bring the tea. Tammy will bring the coffee. You guys bring yourselves.
All right, I'm gonna bring my mug. One mug every week. I'm gonna show you up on the mugs. I didn't know that. So here we are. We got another competition going on.
There it is. There it is. There it is. I bring another one
Might have tea in it.
next week. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Sound
about
good
giving
to
up the
me.
coffee.
Yeah, tea is the way to go, man. Tea is the way to go. Good stuff, man. Well, you guys be epic. We'll talk soon.
All right. Peace.